Have you been in the room when the words, "you're having a heart attack" were spoken? Were they spoken to you? Have you felt that deep pit in your stomach when the doctor says, "I'm sorry, but you're going to need bypass surgery"? Do you wonder how you could go from healthy and fit to becoming a heart patient practically overnight? You're not overweight, you're not a couch potato, you exercise fairly regularly, and you don't eat fried food. Sure, you have stress in your life, but who doesn't? Do you look around the waiting room in the cardiology office and think, "I don't belong here. I'm young and healthy. I shouldn't have heart disease. I don't belong here"? Do you feel a sense of shame or embarrassment, like you've somehow failed? Do you worry about being judged? Or are you just frustrated that you feel like you've done everything good and right for your health and wellness, and now you're a heart patient? If this is resonating with you, stick with me, and you will learn that heart disease is not permanent and it's not fatal. In fact, it's reversible, it's curable. You can still achieve your best health and wellness by giving your body what it needs to heal and by removing the things that contribute to the disease process. And these are not really your fault. We have been duped by the government and the processed food industry into thinking that we should be eating a diet low in fat and high in whole grains. You're going to learn why this is not the case and how you can gain energy, strength, vitality, confidence, and hope. And likely you'll find many other aspects of your health improve as well. I help people with heart disease uncover and eliminate the root cause so that they can go on to live full, adventurous lives without fear or worry about their heart. I started my career working in cardiac rehab about 25 years ago. And I went into this career thinking we were going to help patients stop the disease process and go on to living healthy lives free of disease. What I saw was a revolving door of patients repeating cardiac rehab 2 and 3 times. These patients were doing everything their doctors told them to do. They were taking their medications. They were eating fairly healthy. They were mostly not smoking, and most of them were normal weight, and most of them had normal labs. I knew we were missing something, and that was keeping these patients in this never-ending loop of cardiac disease. I wasn't satisfied with the status quo that my peers seemed to be okay with. I went looking outside the box for answers, and I discovered functional medicine. I met with a local functional medicine doctor who blew my mind and convinced me I needed to go back to school to become a certified functional medicine wellness coach. I learned about the many root cause factors that I'd never heard of. Things like dysbiosis and leaky gut and autonomic imbalance, meaning imbalance of the nervous system, about the importance of natural light exposure and the importance of getting adequate sleep. I knew that I couldn't go back, and I knew that I needed to share this information with as many people as possible. So I developed a proprietary process that is a 5-pillar approach and has the acronym HEART. So H stands for heal the gut. E stands for eliminate the root cause. A stands for anti-inflammatory lifestyle. R stands for resetting the metabolism. And T stands for transforming the mindset. The gut is the gateway of all health and all disease. So if we don't have a healthy gut, we can't have a healthy body. The gut speaks to the heart, to the brain, to the entire nervous system, hormonal system. It's all connected. We cannot ignore the health of our gut if we want to be healthy. The microbiome, which lives in the gut, all those bacteria, they do hundreds, if not thousands of things for us on a day-to-day basis. We must take care of that microbiome. We must take care of our gut. So this is an important foundation to start with. Eliminating the root cause. I have my clients request functional medicine labs. It's important to understand all of these different root cause factors that are often not measured in a Western medicine model. I have at least 5, if not 6, 7, up to 10 different labs that I suggest my clients ask their doctors for so that they can truly understand the different things that are contributing to their risk of chronic disease. We also look at how they're managing stress. We look at getting their exercise dialed in. We address sleep. We address correct breathing. Anti-inflammatory foods are also foundational in my program. too many foods that we're eating, too many of the processed foods that we're eating on a day-to-day basis in this country are inflammatory in nature. We talk about all of the different reasons this is. We talk about all of the common culprits, and we talk about how to remove those and how to have a diet rich in anti-inflammatory properties. We must reset the metabolism. Having metabolic inflexibility leads to things like diabetes and heart disease. It's also a huge risk for having a bad outcome from a viral infection, which is especially important this day and age. We must be metabolically flexible. We must be able to go periods of time, 16 hours without eating and be okay. If you can't go more than 8 hours without eating because you get hangry, you get irritable, you get shaky, you get sweaty, this is not good. This is not good metabolic flexibility. So we really work on getting a reset of the metabolism, and lastly, transforming the mindset. Everything that we do has to start here. We have to make a decision to do it. And for it to stick, we have to have a transformed mindset. We have to learn how to be a different way in the world. So mindset is critical. This is why I spend a lot of time on it in my 6-month program. So I want to share a success story. When I was still in cardiac rehab and learning about all this functional medicine stuff, I had an opportunity to work with Bob. So Bob had been in the cardiac rehab program once before. He was now back in for his second time through. He was still having symptoms. They were happening at lower and lower exercise thresholds. He was getting depressed. He was hopeless. He was frustrated. And so I decided to ask Bob if he would like to go on a little functional medicine journey with me. And I said, let's just start with 2 weeks and see what happens. Let's just have you change up what you're doing for 2 weeks, and you tell me if you feel any better. So he did. 2 weeks later, his angina had subsided significantly. He was exercising harder and more and not having near the level of symptoms he was having previous. So he kept going. And after 3 months, he'd lost over 25 pounds and he felt years younger, and he was exercising at triple the levels he'd been exercising at before, and his chest pain was gone. Huge results, right? He came to me one day and said, Angie, honestly, I feel like I'm 20 years younger. I can do all the things that I could do 20 years ago in my yard. You helped me get my life back. So I knew I was onto something, and I was excited to keep pushing this out and working with more people. Unfortunately, not enough people get this kind of help. Not enough people get this kind of approach. They're stuck in the Western medicine model of taking medication after medication after medication. I was able to work for a very short period of time with another patient who was a frequent flyer, if you will, in our program. I think she was on her 3rd time through. She'd been in for cardiac, for pulmonary, and she was back with us, and she was ready to really do something different this time. And so we started working together. And unfortunately, the changes were much harder for her, and we didn't have a whole lot of time together. And she struggled to make the changes. She really wanted to feel better, but it was difficult, and I didn't have as much time to coach her as I would have hoped. And unfortunately, she ended up having another cardiac arrest, and she didn't make it. This woman was full of life. She would come into cardiac rehab, and she was just this joker and just entertained everybody in the program. She was too young to leave this world. She had a lot to live for. She attended cardiac rehab faithfully with a sincere desire to live, but just exercising alone isn't enough. And she just had a hard time removing those inflammatory foods, toxins, and processed carbs from her diet. And so that gave me even more resolve, because I knew she could have had a better outcome had she made those changes. So I am on a mission to help people make these changes so that they can live well and long and independently and out of nursing homes. This is my mission. Too many people are taking 20 years to die. I want people to live long, live well, live adventurous, live independent, and die fast. That is my goal. So I've shared with you my story. I've shared with you, why I had to leave a Western medicine model. I shared Bob's story of success. I shared what happens when people aren't able to make these changes. I shared my heart 5-pillar approach to transforming your heart health. So now you have an idea of how impactful this approach is. And I ask you, what will happen if you don't learn more about the true root cause of heart disease? How might your future look if you choose to just go it alone and manage everything on your own? And how might your future look if you choose to invest in a holistic root cause transformative coaching program? So for those of you who are impacted by heart disease, who want this transformative approach to your health, who want to go from frustrated, worried, confused, overwhelmed, scared, to confident and inspired and strong and hopeful, I invite you to work with me. I encourage you to schedule a free discovery call right now. You can get out your phone or open your browser on your computer and go to heartwellnesscoaching.com. I urge you not to wait. The sooner we can address the root cause, the sooner you can start feeling amazing, and the sooner we can reduce the risk that you will have the same fate as many of those men and women that I saw in cardiac rehab. The sooner you can live the life you want to live. I thank you for listening, for your interest in improving your health and getting the help that you might need to do that. And I would love to be the one that helps you. Thank you.